Let's talk about protests. Good protests and bad protests. Look, whether we agree or not with the cause, the main issue with protests is whether they stop other people going about their normal business. No violence, of course, is ever acceptable, but so too is it wrong to inconvenience others. You know, the sort of thing we've shown plenty of times on this show over the past couple of years. Extinction Rebellion and other climate catastrophist groups have blocked busy roads and bridges in many of our larger cities. They've stopped people getting to work, getting to school, getting to medical appointments, generally stopped people going about their lives. And they've targeted coal trains and port facilities in ways that have been dangerous and have stopped people doing their work, and they've stopped companies from supplying their orders. It's just not on. And that's why it's a good thing that the New South Wales Police have been preemptively rounding up protesters in recent days for allegedly training for major disruptions in Sydney and elsewhere next week. These protesters, these groups, climate groups, are promising to create chaos in Sydney. Let's hope these clowns are thwarted by the police. They can make their nutty points with street marches or sing-alongs, anything they like, so long as it doesn't disrupt the rest of us going about our lives. But then today we saw a good protest in Sydney where the Chinese ambassador was giving a speech. The event was interrupted for a short time when protesters shouted about Chinese government aggression and breaches of human rights.
I'd like to...
genocide, 1 million Uyghur Muslims in concentration camps. Stop the genocide. Tibet remains colonised. We want freedom of Tibet, freedom of Hong Kong.
What a disgrace. How about freedom of speech in China?
Look, wasn't too bad, was it? Fair enough. It was an inherently political event. They took the chance to make their point without really causing any problems or alarm to anybody else. And soon enough, the event continued, and China's ambassador made a frankly ludicrous claim about freedom of speech.
Those who are attending should respect the law and order. Keep quiet while we're speaking. Yeah. So those number of people who are coming again and again to disrupt the process, that's not expression of freedom of speech.
Give me a break. Imagine China lecturing us on freedom of speech. Imagine what would have happened if these people tried that protest in Beijing. Actually, I can see a neat solution for everyone here. Surely the biggest beef for the climate protesters that the police have been looking at this week, surely their biggest beef must be with China, because it's by far the world's greatest emitter of greenhouse gases. Why protest against Australia, where our tiny 1.2% of global emissions are actually being reduced, when you could protest against China and its 30% global share of emissions that are still rising dramatically? All we need to do is send the radical climate protesters down to the Chinese embassy in Canberra. They can camp out there, make a powerful point to the right target, and leave the rest of us alone. That way we can all be happy.